right, so we are here at the regular meeting of the Pownal Parks and Rec Committee. And I will call the meeting to order and I will ask for an approval of the agenda, which was provided. So ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So then we have the January meeting minutes, which I did not bring. Did you send them?
You sent 3 now.
Did, okay. I failed to bring them with me. So
But you read them.
I did read them, but I forgot to bring them with me. Did everyone have a chance to read them?
Yeah.
I didn't see anything that needed to be corrected.
Motion to approve them.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? None? So all in favor?
Aye.
Very good. All right, in terms of old business, so with respect to the fundraising, the VORAC grant specifically, item number 1, after our January meeting, I got an email from Jackie Dagger, who is running that program. And she was letting all the applicants know that due to the scale and complexity of projects proposed this year, the committee's taking additional time to determine recommendations, that they would meet again the week of January 17th, and they would announce grant recipients around mid-February. So we did get a couple of questions.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, through the week of January 17th, and Rebecca was able to talk to Jackie because I think they were going to Tim and he wasn't responding because he wasn't here anymore or something like that. So anyway, we were able to clear up that confusion. And so we are waiting on the results mid-February. So it's the 8th. So hopefully,
Soon.
yeah.
Cool.
Okay, item number 2 is the Stewart's Holiday Match Grant. So that application was filed by Rebecca at the end of January. And so we put in items for improvements at Center Street Park as the, for the funding. And so we included a bike rack, which I thought might be helpful, some scooters that some kids, that we could just have there, not expensive scooters. So, and some bike helmets. So if some kids wanted to go down there and just do a little scooter riding, they didn't have to bring that with them. And then some supplies to refinish the tennis court. So those, I think those.
You mean like seal it?
Seal it, like
Okay.
the color, like the tennis court color. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like outdoor paint for sport courts.
Okay.
Or whatever you want to call it.
And we can still have a look at sealing the cracks
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
When summer road work time comes along.
Yeah. So I think it was about $3,000. I can't remember exactly.
That's terrific.
So that was, we applied. So we haven't heard back yet. I would expect that we would hear, I think we heard in March last time. So,
Don't know if you've heard the Stewart's news from last week and this
yeah,
week,
I kind of,
but it may influence their decision to help Pownal out. The fuel company pumped diesel into the regular gas.
Oh, that is true.
It is true.
I'd heard it. I was hoping it was just a rumor.
My car was one of them.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But Stewart's is going to take care of it. Saving all the receipts, and
yeah.
they've got a great record as, a community citizen.
Yeah.
And this,
Yeah.
It's truly an
somebody's
accident.
mistake. Yes, somebody's mistake.
Yeah.
And they're going to take care of it.
The most important thing is that they're going to step up and take care of it. So
Yep.
it's one thing to make a mistake and then not, but that's good news that they're going to remedy that. So good. Well, this money is raised. I think people give donations at the register. They have like bins out at the register from like Thanksgiving to New Year's. And then all those monies are taken and divvied up to all the applicants. So we got $1,500 last year. So hopefully we can capitalize on that. The Better Places Grant. So since our last meeting, the Better Places program did publish a guide for application. And they have tweaked the program a bit this year. It includes crowdfunding. So it's a 2-to-1 match for crowdfunding. So you have to agree, and they have a consultant on board that if you're accepted into the program, will assist you in crowdfunding. So there's some other
What's
limit,
crowdfunding again?
like,
It's like GoFundMe or,
yeah, kind of like a social media campaign and
Got it.
things like that. It's like it kind of is more grassroots. It
Yeah.
really builds community
Yep.
and support for something.
It's the new version of standing on the street corner with your hat in your hand.
yes, or the coin drop and
Yep. That's what I was trying to think of. Yes, the coin drop.
Yeah.
So
still do that.
there's some limitations with it also. No more than 25% can go towards planning or consulting or engineering of what you raise. So that's a little bit difficult because we know we need to do some planning down for Center Street Park. So that's the Better Places Grant. There's a webinar this week on the 10th, and Peter and I have signed up to participate in the webinar. And then you can make an application to participate in the program, but they recommend that you have a discussion with them before you apply to make sure that it's something,
I like that personalized
yeah.
approach as opposed to putting in an application with only going by written guidelines and
Yep.
Yeah.
wait. Said, nope, you didn't get it. How come? You know, where were, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Peter and I had a discussion with the person who was interested in doing a lot of the landscaping for the AARP placemaking grant. So we had a discussion with her, and she's very interested in continuing to help if we move forward with that. So I also had a discussion with BCRC. And so, and how they might be able to help us with this process and moving forward with our plans for Center Street Park and what I would call the town green. So the person that I met with, Kat, would like to come and meet me at the park. She wants to view the land to see exactly what we're talking about. So she's going to do that Friday at 12:30 if anyone is available to join us. If not, it's no problem. But she's really engaged in these types of programs and planning, and I would consider her an expert. So she can help us figure out what we need to do if we want to do phases and all of those things. And then what is the best means to fund what we want to do. So she just wanted to take a walk and actually see it. And she hasn't seen the new town hall either.
Okay.
Now, is this specific to landscaping, or is this more
This is like
all?
a bigger approach to one component of it is landscaping. And we talked about gardens. We had talked about with the AARP winter placemaking grant, we had talked about some gardens and things, and we got select board approval. We weren't eligible for the grant, but it's the same idea. But for the town green, it's more of a bigger project and getting stakeholder input on what the community wants to see there. At the, what we want. Do we want a pavilion there? Do we want,
And the town green is,
it's the town hall down through the park.
okay,
I guess it would say it encompasses the area.
so Center Street Park and town green are synonymous, or are they two different things now?
It includes the town hall. I would say the town green includes the
It's town
town,
hall, okay.
includes the town hall. It's like an area
Got
where
it.
residents can come together to do a number of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so one aspect of that we had talked about was, the landscaping of town hall.
And eduscaping, if you will.
Yes, yes,
It's a
yes.
terrible 1980s thing, but planning things so that people can learn something about each one, whether this is, the birds, the bees, the bats.
We're not going to teach them the birds and the bees, though. But no, I mean, you see that in different places where there's like signage that describes the native
Yeah.
species and,
Places to sit.
yeah, places to sit. But it's kind of like, as we move forward and we want to make more permanent improvements to Center Street Park, it's just bringing in the community and doing some longer term outlook or longer term planning on what do we want to do there when we go for funding.
Yep.
So, so more to come on that. And yeah, okay.
And when's that Better Places grant due?
It's not due, it is,
It's a rolling.
yeah, it opens the day of the webinar. You can submit this application, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Letter of intent originally.
Yeah, I think it's basically so that you can be invited to do the program. So until the money is gone, it's available. And then it says they're going to do it twice this year. That's what it says in there, that they expect to do 2 rounds of funding in 2022. So if we are not far enough along for this round, there would be another round.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the work that we did, even though we didn't win anything from the AARP, I think the work that we did there to create that grant is a foundation that we can work
Yes.
from.
Yes. I agree with that. Okay, so skating rink update is next. I'll let Brian Harris talk about that.
Well, I have some disappointing news, but it is what it is. So with the absurdly cold weather that we recently suffered, coldest January since 2005, somebody told me, the ground is too frozen and it's been too cold to get anybody down there to help. And between scheduling conflicts, the weather, and illness, everything's conspired against us for getting it put up.
Yeah.
And right now the ground is too frozen. There's now 3 inches of ice sitting on top of it. So the plus side is we have all the boards prepped and ready to go for next year. We've ordered the new plastic for Parks and Rec.
Yes, we have a plastic with the tarp.
We have a tarp.
Yes.
So the plan is for next year, right at the end of soccer, while it's still nice, end of October, beginning of November, we are going to get the frame up. That way we can actually get the stakes into the ground. Colby is thinking that we should try to do some kind of railing. So we're going to try to do some planning and get materials for that. Donated stuff we can scavenge, that kind of stuff. Because he's thinking to try to save the plastic, get a railing up around it to at least funnel people toward one entrance and exit. And then we can just better protect the plastic there.
Yep.
So I've talked with Joel, our road crew foreman, and right now his plan is if he has the gravel, which he thinks he will, we're going to extend the parking lot down at the ball field. That way we have better parking through baseball, soccer season, and it'll give us parking during the winter. And I'm going to speak with Darcy and see if when she goes down to plow for the pump house, if she'd be willing to do a couple of swings through to do the rest of it while she's already there. Or maybe I can see if Joel will be willing to have one of his guys on their route with the small truck, swing in, just honestly, you don't have to do more than 2 or 3 swipes through it. Just push it to one side and be done with it.
And just so everyone knows, the ball field, I think we all know, is town property.
Yes, the ball
So
field is
it's
town
not-
property.
It's not private property.
Yes, so there's no
Yeah.
concern about misappropriation of town funds or anything.
Yep. Yep.
So
Okay,
that's, unfortunately, that's the update I have, but we are getting stuff in place to hopefully get a better jump at it next year.
Yep.
I was thinking about it just a couple of days ago and we had that ice storm. Said even we had an ice rink going, how the heck are we gonna get this stuff off of there?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, we all have tried to get rid of it, whether it's on our cars or sidewalks or whatever, and that was
Wow.
brutal.
It was really something.
On ice? Here.
Okay.
have some ice.
Yeah, it's been a brutal January and beginning of February, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, we have a plan for next year then.
So again, I apologize, just
apologize.
everything has conspired against us this year to not have it.
The way it goes.
Sustainable.
Okay, so letter C, 2022 planning, Pownal Valley Fair, town picnic. We talked at our last meeting about trying to marry maybe the town picnic with the Pownal Valley Fair. So I did reach out to some folks and the planning for the Pownal Valley Fair is in transition right now. It looks like some different folks will be involved in putting on the fair and what it's going to look like. What I have learned is that they still plan to do it at the end of July. So it looks like July 30th would be the date. It is the Saturday.
It's the date they've always had, and I think that people mark it on their calendars
Yeah.
way ahead of time.
Yeah.
We can't go there, honey. Pownal Valley Fair.
So my understanding is that they're going to have some meetings probably in early March, the organizers or whatever, and they will involve Parks and Rec in that discussion. I'm sure as well as many other community groups and residents in that discussion. So more to come on that, but we'll tentatively mark July 30th or that weekend, whatever we decide, the town picnic. All right. So the next item is the Winter Festival, which I mentioned previously, possibly partnering with the Pownal PTG. And I had an update from that group that they have decided not to pursue that this year. They were considering postponing it until March. But I think due to illness and some other factors that it's just,
I believe the main decision was that's you're chancing it's going to be nothing but mud at that point
yeah, if they postponed it
until March.
Yeah, postponed it another month, the weather might not be
It might not cooperate.
at all, and the resources were scarce to,
Yep.
so we will look forward to something next winter. Okay, so number 4 is new business, and that is the AARP grant, which also came out right after our last meeting. So this grant is the Livable Communities Challenge. It's a potential fit for some items at the town green or the Center Street Park. It has a later due date of March 22nd, but the award is not made until the end of May. So it's a little bit of a longer time frame. It's open to people in all 50 states. And I looked like the last 2 years, 3 Vermont applications were chosen the last couple of years. So in order to proceed with this and even the Better Places grant, we need select board approval, but it's just a little preliminary right now because the due date is far away on this one. Did you have a question?
No, well, is this more of this wouldn't be more towards the development of the area, but more towards activities in the area then it sounds like?
It's really about placemaking and like making a venue, a place where people can come together. I mean, I guess is the way I would describe it. It is, a lot of it is framed to involve many stakeholders. So like seniors, young people. And it's like, how can you bring people to an area as it's focused?
Pavilion works for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's a possibility for us. So what I think we should do is I think we should participate in the Better Places webinar this week. We'll meet with our local expert at the park, and then maybe we can regroup and think about what we want to pursue. The AARP does not have a crowdfunding match or anything. And it doesn't even really have a top limit, but when I looked at the projects, they seem to be in the $10,000 to $20,000 range when I looked at them. So that's my recommendation. So
It's AARP Community Challenge.
AARP, it's called Livable Communities, but
Which
it
is
is.
what they're all about in their grants, all their
Yeah,
grants.
yeah,
So would you send me a link
yes.
to that? So
yes.
I'd like to
Yep.
read about that and see if something like a pavilion, which is a place and it's a magnet
Yep.
for activity and people,
Yep, for sure.
and a shed.
And yeah, lots of things I can think of.
Yeah.
And then the final item is the ARPA monies. And so I don't know if you all are aware that all the cities and towns, I guess, in the US were given some COVID recovery monies. And initially, when the guidance came out from the Treasury on these monies, there were very specific limitations on what the monies could be used for. And more recently, in January, they issued some final guidance after getting feedback from people. It must be municipalities and towns. And so they removed some of those limitations for one aspect that applies to Pownal, which is if you got less than $10 million in ARPA funds. So the town got, I think, just over $500,000
For the first round.
for the first round, and then a second disbursement is coming, which
Yes.
I think is in 2022. It's this year still, I think, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, it'll technically, I think, be next year's budget, but it'll
Okay.
be within this calendar year.
Yeah, yeah. So the again, the limitations are removed on what that money can be spent for. So I know when I watched the last select board meeting, some of the monies are going to be spent on a pump for the sewer.
Yeah, they're going to be upgrading one of the pump stations. I watched most of the meeting. I missed which pump station. I don't know if
Yeah.
they said it or not.
That's the majority of the money is going to that.
Then part of it's going to the town hall
Yep.
because the money is essentially just going to go into the general fund.
Yep.
They have permission to do that.
Yep.
Then the second round of it will be, they're going to be gathering more groups together to try to get more public ideas and
Yeah.
suggestions of what they can do with it.
So I thought that as they go through that process, if we need planning monies or we come to a point where we can't move ahead without the planning monies, this could be a potential source so that we can continue, moving ahead with the quote, I don't know if you call it the town green or Center Street Park, whatever we want to call it, but it's here to be invested in the community. So
So are they expecting around the same amount for the second phase? Or?
it will be the same amount.
Oh.
Yeah, it will be the same amount. So more to come on that as that process and how the select board, I know there is a forum where they have on the website that you can,
They have made it very clear that they want public involvement in
Yes.
this. It's not like it's some behind the scenes thing for
Yep.
the two people that'll watch this.
yeah.
So tell our family members to go out and post something for Parks and Rec then.
Well, I submitted something on behalf of Pownal Youth Baseball
Did you?
already.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I submitted an entire list of suggestions.
Yep.
And it's all on town property. It's not just it's all stuff to the benefit of the community.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's all that I have for items. Our next meeting date and time. So we're actually in the second week of February right now, but we've been sticking with the first, sorry, I'm just looking for my phone. which I don't have
Calendar.
for the date. Oh, here it is.
March 1st would be the first Tuesday.
Ooh.
March 8th,
the
the
8th.
second
Are we
Tuesday.
good with March 8th? Does that work for everybody?
When's voting day?
Oh,
That's a Tuesday.
I think it's at March 8th.
is it?
March 1st.
March 1st? Thank
Yep.
you.
All right. So March 8th it is. And is 6 o'clock okay?
I much prefer 6 o'clock.
Okay, great. Perfect. Let's see. So Megan, is there any public participation?
No one is raising their hand.
Okay. All right, so we have no public comment. So I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much.